everything that you guys have had issues with, I've had the same fucking issues.
Okay.
I'm telling you, 100%. You guys can't throw something at me that I haven't dealt with on my own that I still don't deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, those positions, do they after you close out, do they start to go back the same direction that you wanted it to go?
Yes, they immediately go the way I wanted it to go.
Motherfucker, man, that sucks, doesn't it?
Every time.
Yeah, but I get it, man, because you're protecting your capital, and that's the number one key, right? Like, keeping your capital safe.
Yeah.
Number two of that, and even if it doesn't happen all the time, but number two of that, appreciate that you're right. You know what I mean? Even if you're only doing it 50% of the time, like, you jump in, it starts to go good, then it starts to go inverse, you close out, and then you look at it the next day or the day later or 2 days or 3 days later, and you're like, oh shit, look at that fucking go, and be pissed. You could be pissed that you didn't stay in it, but at the same time, you're starting to do something right. You know what I mean? There's always those roadblocks.
It goes both ways too. Like, Chris, you could tell him that Zillow trade you put me in, man. That thing did great for me. I sold it, and it still ran even further. Yeah. Like, I had regrets about that shit, but you really can't.
No. Well, like even like with Psycho Bunny, she got in it. So I got City, and the City kind of reversed on me when we first went into position. But then it turned out to be great. And then I knew Lulu, after having 3 good earnings report, was going to have to be tough on this one. And I didn't even go in on the same one that I recommended. She got in it, and she freaking killed it.
Yeah, you and I both were talking about it, and you're like, yeah, it's not gonna do it because it's been going up, and I was like, yeah, I agree with you 100%, Justin. Actually, no, I think I was like, I don't really, I was like, I don't really know, but you did make a good point that they've been killing it.
Aren't all banks doing really well right now?
Who?
Are all banks doing well now?
No, all banks are doing horrible right now.
Okay.
But the one that had the most against it was City. So they had the biggest move down initially. Other than Goldman Sachs, which has the bank drama plus they had an illegal transaction in Malaysia that they're dealing with, which made that one go down.
Right.
And then
still
Deutsche Bank. Yeah, and then Deutsche Bank got invaded by the federal government in Germany. So they have some illegal shit going on that they're getting busted for. But Deutsche Bank's already like $9, so I don't know how much more it can go down.
Chris, I can't stop being greedy.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that in a second because that's something that I've been doing, and I've been fucking screwing myself over a little bit on that. Fuck, Mark, I had another question for you.
Okay.
Here. What was it? Oh, so when you get into the trade, as soon as you enter it, does it start to go in your direction? Or is it like 50-50? Sometimes you enter and it like drops, sometimes you enter, it starts to go and then it drops or goes inverse.
No, like pretty much every time I'll watch it going in the direction I want it to go in. Then right when I get in, it'll start reversing. And then when I start freaking out, it's like, oh Lord, I need to get out of here. I'll get out and then it'll go right the way I expected it to go. Almost every time.
Okay, cool. So that's all right. That's entry point.
Yeah.
Just getting that entry point where you're like it's almost immediately going in the direction. Trying to catch it early earlier is really where you got to work on. I get that. I definitely get that.
And Tuesday I got lucky. I think that was Tuesday, either Monday or Tuesday. I stayed in the Apple put that I had, and so I ended up. I think I made like 228 that day. By the end of the day.
Nice.
And after the meeting Wednesday, after the meeting Wednesday, I got in that Tesla call that morning, and I ended up with 127, and I finally crossed the $1,000 threshold. So.
Nice. Yeah. Did you close that Tesla at the at near the top?
I thought it was gonna keep going to what was it, 380? So I waited. So I had like 350. I was at $350, and then it like dropped super hard, and I ended up with 127. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, the
Yeah.
fucking thing. It was what, like 40 cents away from 50 cents away from that 380. It was like 379.
Right.
What was the peak? Which sucked. It really did suck. And I think I had everybody pumped like, yeah, it's gonna hit 380. It's gonna hit 380. And then it's
Yeah.
like something cents away, and everybody held. And I'm like, I would have done the same thing if I was in the fucking trade.
Well, that's why one reason
Nah, man. I saw that move, man, and Chris confirmed it, and I was ready to get out at 279, whatever it was, 379. Oh man, wish I took that trade. Good shit, Mark. Good shit.
Thank you,
That's
man.
a win, bro.
And see, I don't talk much in here because I'm just trying to listen to y'all and learn for the most part. So that's why I'm always on mute most of the time because I'm just listening to y'all.
But for me too, because I know Christian brought it up too. I still work a full-time job and I have my own business. And I always play monthlies, and I play usually 30 days or more out. But I also try to give myself enough time to be right. So sometimes news comes out and things happen with the stocks that make it not want to go in the right direction. But eventually, if you're looking long term at these moves, they're going to come around. And sometimes I'm a little too early to it and have to sell and buy back in. And then sometimes you're right on the money. You just follow that trend. So make sure you give yourself enough time to be right.
That is 100. Yeah, that is 100% correct. And when you look at stuff in the time frame that you look at it, like you're looking at the daily charts. I know you rarely. I mean, how often do you really look intraday?
Only if I'm getting ready to sell. That's it for me.
Gotcha. So you're looking at the daily, and you're picking up these things, and you're doing a longer term, which is great for somebody. Somebody with a what do you call it, with the 9 to 5. Mark, are you doing both? Are you doing combination of intraday and like looking at the daily chart? Maybe you hear me. Mark, what are you looking at? Are you looking at the daily chart, or are you looking intraday too? Maybe you could. All right, we'll go back to what do you call it? Yeah, Justin. So and that's good, and it's really rough. I mean, you really have it. It's a struggle to watch that fluctuation, especially if you're holding long term, because you'll see it. I mean, there are going to be days where your account is taking a major hit, right? And you just have to let it be and don't sell.
This week was a perfect example. I had an $1,100 swing in one day. Actually, I think that was Wednesday. I had $1,100 swing in the day. I ended up, obviously in the green, but my account opened up 700 in the green. It went down intraday, 400 in the red, and it shot back up at the end of the day, back in the green. So I mean, you just sometimes you gotta suck it up. But I mean, the bank call was a good call, and like Lulu was a good one. But I really had too much stuff on the table, and I was like, what, I'm just not going to play Lulu today because really what I was going to do is I wasn't even going to buy puts on it. I was just going to sell a couple calls against it, collect the credit, and then let the rest of it crash, and then sell it by the end of the day.
Hey, Justin, perfect example is that Allison trade.
Yeah. That was the one where the chart looked perfect for it to go down. It went up because there was some news out there, and then it totally reversed in the direction we thought it would go.
Yep.
But it took 2 days to do that.
Yes, it did. Yep.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Options, if you're not used to options trading, coming from stock trading, it's so rough because your account can take a major hit overnight, and you have to watch it if you are longer term, and you just have to stick with it. It's a little too much for me sometimes. It definitely is.
It is. Now, when I've got more time, when I know I'm not going to be working, I can be at my desk all day. When I turn it on to the Discord and I can listen in. If you've got a good pick for the day, which I've played before, I'll play that for the week or that day, and then I'm out of it. I can do that too, but it just depends on what I got going on. But with it being at the end of the year right now, a lot of stuff's super busy right now.
Nick, what were we talking about? What did you mention that I said I was going to come back to?
That I'm fucking greedy.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I'm holding these Q's puts from Friday. Like, there's no reason for me to not lock those in. Over 100%, 118.
Yeah,
think
I would have probably sold half off on Friday, and I'd have kept half over the weekend.
yeah, I got 2. So yeah.
Yeah, so one you lock it in, and then you let the other one ride.
Yeah, yeah. You know what stops me there too, Justin, is the day trade shit, man. I really got to get into a cash
Yeah.
account.
So a lot of people don't know it, and you don't. It's not just for doing debit spreads, even though or credit spreads, even though when you play that you can do it. But you can also roll your position to the next month. Now, granted, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you can
On a
roll your
naked
position.
call, you can do that.
Yeah, you can roll your positions. Yeah, even on a naked one, even if you're on the debit side, you can roll them.
Oh, I see.
So let's say is you think it's going to go down. You still got a little bit. Let's say you bought a position or an option at like $1, right? And it's worth like 40 cents now, but you think it's going to happen, but you're running out of time. You can take that position, you can sell that 40 cents and roll it into the next one, and it'll just credit you 40 cents to the next month or the next contract. And then instead of it being like $1.20, maybe it's it'd be 90 cents with your other 40.
Right.
Buy the next one.
But that's
sometimes I've rolled them. So like my UCO one, I still think the oil's coming back, right? And it's starting to a little bit, but it's taking its sweet time. So I had to roll out of my November ones, and I rolled it all the way to January now. So I turned that into a leap option, so I can make sure I got time for that for oil to come back up.
What's the oil ticker? The straight up U.S. oil, not
Well,
USO.
it's USO or UCO. Those are the ones I usually
What's
use.
crude oil? What's crude oil?
It's a futures contract. I don't think you can just look. Yeah, it's EC. There you go.
CC?
No, /BZ.
Oh, BZ.
Yeah, it's a futures contract. Yeah. But it had a nice pop last Friday. But then you can see at the end of the day with all this news coming out, everything started going back down again. MO was up $1.30 at one point, and then ended up barely in the green, or even I think it might have been 20 cents down.
I'm looking at oil. I do think it looks like it's finding a bottom here.
Yeah, and then OPEC had that news come out that they were cutting production, so that'll jack the price back up automatically. But it's going to take it'll take a couple weeks before that impact the scene. So
like the bottom, yeah.
So I rolled my contracts to January, because if I would have, I'd have just lost everything in November. What I did was, I took my credit and I rolled it up into a leap option in January.
Nick, how quickly when you get into a trade, how quickly are you positive? Does it take a little while, like a day or a couple hours?
Not necessarily. I'll probably, bail pretty quickly if it's not going in my direction right away.
Gotcha.
Yeah, especially if you're looking for that big run up once it breaks out. I'd agree with that. But if I know I'm waiting for that to gradually go up and stuff, I'll go. I'll hang in there for a while.
So this greed thing and squeezing out max profit, because this is something that I've been dealing with over the past 2 weeks. Shit's really starting to piss me off because I can't squeeze out max profit. Things get close, and then I hold, and it never hits my price target. It's fucking been really annoying. Like on Friday I was up like $500, or no, I was up over it was around 700 on Apple. The motherfucker just didn't it lost the steam that I was hoping for, and then it dropped. I still had gains for the day for that one. I took a gain on that, and then I took a loss on the one prior to that because I opened an Apple position and closed it quickly. It's like these things aren't hitting max profit, and even with me, I guess I have to change up a little bit and readjust my price targets. And I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking at this point, if I do have a price target, maybe 3/4 of the way up. If it starts to stall or it gets close and then it pulls back 3/4 of the way, maybe that's when I should consider selling the position.
What I'm noticing on these contracts is when you get that move you're looking for, that's probably the most you're going to be able to squeeze out of that contract unless you're, it keeps running on you. But like I say, me and my shapes and shit, right? Triangles. So like I'll see that and I'll like enter a position towards the bottom of the like trend line, right? And
Yeah.
try to get that pop out of it, and then hopefully unload it right at the top, right? Because it'll probably fade and die, and it probably won't hit that price again unless there's major momentum there.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you
Yep.
on that.
Just like that Tesla move, right?
Yeah, so with Tesla, and that's what it is. A lot of these, so a lot of my price targets, there's a good amount of my price targets that come from patterns, and not support and resistance. Those are usually on point. You know, you can calculate the move based off of the prior move and the pattern that is in front of you, like a bull flag pattern or an ascending triangle, or I can go through a bunch of them, and they have in those patterns, there's an estimate on a breakout or a breakdown, how far up or down it's going to go. And you
Right.
can usually, I mean, up until the past couple months, you can almost hit those to a T. Like I can give you a price target, and that price target, it's probably going to hit it just based off of that pattern. And I'm realizing and I'm seeing, and it's been pissing me off that it's not getting those full moves.
Yeah,
If there's a bull flag and the pole is $1, right? You have the flag pole's $1, and then you have your consolidation period that actually makes the flag. When it breaks out of that flag pattern, it should be close to $1 move to the upside, and then it should get slammed down. And it's not. I mean, these things are only going about 70, 70, 75%. And that's where I'm looking at it, and I'm waiting for that dollar move. I'm waiting for that full dollar move, waiting for even close to it, and I'm not getting it. And now I'm sitting here watching it like every fucking time. Are you kidding me? Here it goes, and it's pulling back, and it's pulling back, and it's pulling back, it's pulling back. Now I'm close to break even, and I'm like, this is garbage. I'm just gonna wait. I'll let this thing run and wait to see what happens. And some of them might wind up closing with next to no profit, either dead flat or at a small loss. When I could be up, $1,000 in a matter of 45 minutes or an hour. But these patterns aren't going full force. And I don't know if it's the market, because the overall market is weak, that when these patterns start to unfold, they're not unfolding full force because of the weak market. And there's not going to be, if it's an upside move, there aren't going to be a ton of buyers coming in to push it that full force. Maybe with the market being the way that it is, you only have 75% of the power to move something up, or even 75% of the power to push something down, because I've seen it inverse. You would think in a down market that you're going to get those moves, but it's been crazy because I've seen the inverse. I saw the inverse not this past Friday, but last Friday I was playing something and I was up, I don't know, like $900 on that trade. I think it was Qualcomm, and oh yeah, you remember that? And the thing didn't fucking push down. It just didn't get that push to where it should have gone. It hit that $57 level, and it should have went down to like 56 and change, and it didn't. Or no, maybe it was 58. It doesn't really matter. But it didn't get that extra push, that little bit of an extra push that I know should have happened. It hit a gap area. It didn't fully close the gap to the downside. And now when you have downside pressure in something, there is a better chance that you're going to get a downside gap fill than you will an upside gap fill. And that should have been a lot easier of a drop to the downside. And it didn't get there. And I walked away. I don't remember. I did walk away with a small loss on that one because I was just fucking frustrated. But it was a good trade. Only in like 3 hours, I was up about $700. And the same thing with fucking, with Apple. I'm seeing these things, Nick, that just like they're not going full force.
You're reminding me of that Walmart chart that did the exact move that it should have.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, like I played.
I get it. I totally get it. Like they're not making the correct moves appropriate to the pattern you're seeing, right? Like,
yeah, correct.
I think that is market weakness.
Well, I don't know if it's that or just the fact that the market makers aren't wanting to pay out, because Mo did that on Friday. So MO was up $1.35 at one point. They were paying out 60 cents on the options. Then it had a pullback to like $1. It ran right back up again to like $1.35. They didn't pay out but about 40 or 50 cents that time. And then it came back down again. And all it was selling the news on Cron and all that stuff. And it came back down. And then all that Trump stuff started coming out. And then the market all started selling off. And they pulled all the value out of that option for that day. So that whole $50 is gone by the end of the day when the market sold off, and the MO ended up being flat. And I've been in that trade for about 3 or 4 days now. So I'm hoping it's going to run back up, but the market makers are pulling value out as news hits too.
I think
you're not going to get that run up.
I think it was a sell the news situation on MO.
But the market makers were pulling value out of the option before you could sell it. That's why I didn't like. I was pissed.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're making. I mean, you can't do anything about it, but it's manipulating the stock price, in my opinion, because that value is being changed because they don't like something or that news came out, or the market starts changing direction. But you get the $1, $2 moves that you're expecting, but the option's just not paying out.
They're not changing price.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think, every day is a readjustment. Even with me, I have to readjust to different market conditions. Do I like readjusting? Absolutely not. I would like market conditions to, be in one direction, and that's it. I like it, and let me explain the direction. Either upside or downside, or extremely volatile. That's what I'm looking for. I need something to be in stone. I don't like insanely volatile one day and then the next day everything's really quiet. Does it happen a lot? Yeah, I mean it definitely does. But when you have these constant change in market condition, you have a couple days where it's just everything's rocking really good. Then you have another couple days where everything's just getting slammed. Then you have extremely volatile days. Then you have days of indecision. Where nothing is going on. You have to continuously change your strategy or readjust the small parts of your strategy to get to that. And without me changing my strategy every single day and having to do these small readjustments, I'm going to get burned. So nothing is set in stone. These trading plans that I have, they're still a foundation, even though they sound really fucking crazy and everything's like pretty much laid out. There's still that gray area that maybe I don't even have on a piece of paper that I have to make adjustments. And I think one of the newest adjustments moving forward is if I see a price target of $100, and I'm at 90, I need to consider selling at 97. That's really where I need to consider selling. And even if it does go up to 100 and beyond, it is what it is. On B, I have to be a little more conservative, take the profit, and don't get greedy. What do you think, Nick?
I mean, like, I'm thinking about the cues I just picked up. Like, there was no rhyme or reason behind my plan. There was no plan. I saw the market tank and I jumped, and now I have no target, right? Like, sure, I'm up big on them, but like, what do I do now? Right?
Yeah. And that's tough. There are times where, and you guys have heard me, there are times where I get into a trade. It's rare, but I get into a trade and I'm like, fuck, I don't even have a price target. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. And then I start asking everybody else. I'm like, hey, Dustin, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do? Where are my price targets? Justin, what the fuck am I doing with this one? I don't even know. There are times where I've jumped in the trades, and I think not last week, the week before that, I think I had at least one of them, and I'm like, I don't have a price target. Like I don't know what the fucking price target is. It's rare, but it's like, what the fuck do you do? When do you sell?
Right.
When am I supposed to sell?
And then my dumbass holding them over the weekend was like probably the stupidest thing I could have done. I should have just burned my last day trade and been done with it.
Yeah, that sucks. You got to get over to that cash account. Oh, has anybody converted to a cash account since we've been talking about it over the past month? And what do you guys think of it?
Yeah,
I did. Go ahead.
I did too.
How do you guys like it? Was it a game changer or was it nothing at all?
Well, I stopped losing, so I won't say that it's it's not helping. I haven't with the market like this. I haven't make that much of good picks, but I haven't lost because I can close the trade and just call it a day.
Now, being like for a smaller account holder, like I gotta imagine that's hard to wait. The what is it, 5 days before the money clears in order
No.
to take another trade again?
So with options, it's overnight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
overnight. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
It does
Yeah,
suck with
it's
a small account though, because like sometimes you only have $500, you can only use $500 a month if you hit that limit. So you buy, two
Which
contracts
is
for 225.
yes, which is a fucking struggle. That can be a struggle. Holding and saying, "Oh, what am I going to do the rest of the day if I close out?"
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, I felt that in when I first started that other what do you call it, that account, and then I built it up in the beginning until I hit $1,000. It was like I wanted to hold so bad, like the losing
Right.
rates. I wanted to hold them because I knew it's fucking 940 right now, and I want to build an account. If I close out of this trade, I'm done with this account for the day,
you
and I'm
can't take another
probably done.
trade.
Yeah, I'm done in general. I hate going back over to E Trade because I make so many mistakes changing platforms. I mean, I don't know why I can't do it, but I have to stick to one or the other. It kind of sucks. I think I might trade just E Trade next week, but I totally get it. Lisa, how was it for you?
It's actually been better. I mean, it was kind of hard at first because it was I didn't have much money in there, but now that I've actually built it up some, I can actually get out of the trade and get into another one. Because before, I mean, I only had a certain amount of money, so it's like if you get out of the trade, then you can't do anything for the rest of the day. But I didn't lose any money, so I just had to live with it.
Yeah, it's those first few trades to get to get your account up and to build it up. And I would say like even $700 is a good threshold. If you can push it up over 700, that's when you could start taking 50% of account value, and ride something for 350 and another thing for 350. Right? I mean, what is like on average the most we get into, or what, the $350 contracts at the most? I mean, how often has anybody gone into a contract that's over $500 recently?
Yeah, I've never done that.
No.
I've never done that either.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
Tesla, I did.
Teslas are right around that threshold. Boeing was right around there, right? I think it was around 3 something per contract for those. Oh, you went further out of the money too, but yeah, I mean, so I think that like $400 area is the area where you can, where we're going to see maximum per contract. And once you hit that $700 or $800 threshold with the cash account, now you have 2 trades. And if you mess up on the first trade, and you jump out real early, and the second trade, goes the opposite direction, maybe you should be taking a break anyway. But I think that's a good threshold. Right?
No,
I
but
mean,
that's a game changer. The overnight thing, I did not know that. That's a game
Yeah.
changer.
That's the whole reason to switch to cash for unlimited day trade. Basically done overnight. I like it. I really like this trade.
What platform do you use, Psycho?
Tastyworks.
No,
I use
Psycho.
TD,
TD.
Thinkorswim. Yeah.
Lisa, have you been using trailing stops? Have you tried any of the trailing stops?
Yes, I used a trailing stop on it didn't kick in, but I used one on Johnson and Johnson. It was my first time using it. I had to sit there and watch your video a couple of listen to your thing a couple of times to check it out.
Yeah, to make sure it's done correctly. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's a lifesaver. I know. What do you call it? Pedro loves it now. I mean, he uses it a lot.
He does. He won't shut up about it.
Yeah, he hated them at first because it kept stopping him out, and it's hard because you have to really plan it correctly. You got to watch the fluctuations of options contracts, but he's loving it, and Travis loves it too.
I figured better safe than sorry, so I've been trying it out.
Yeah, and you squeeze out profit. I mean, once you're profitable, you're at that point where you feel comfortable putting in a trail. For the most part that you are going to get something out of it. I mean, anything could happen overnight, but there's a good possibility you're gonna get something out of that trade. So okay, you're at that point where like you got to be aggressive, and that sucks. I mean, that's the worst because he's trying to get
Yeah,
over that threshold, and you know that you
yeah,
got to be a
and
little more aggressive with
yeah,
the
and you
trade, but you
and
have to be on point, and you have to be patient. I mean, you got to wait for a trade to immediately go in your direction.
exactly. That's the fucking shit. Because if it doesn't go, I just stopped trading at 10 a.m. and I'm like here watching you guys. Oh, I'm gonna go in this, and I'm like, no cash.
It's patient because you know that there's going to be a time where you're going to hit that 100% gain or more, and even if you're patient every day and you jump out really early, if something goes the wrong direction, you're still in the game, and it's only going to take 2 of those 100% gains to get that account over that $1,000 threshold. I mean, even like $700 or $800, but you just got to be
Can
patient.
Can I say something about what you talked earlier about holding too much? Um, I remember the last 2 Fridays saying to you that to sell the Apple one and the Qualcomm because you already were profitable. So I was like, if I was the one that having that issue, I know I would have sold way early because I know the market isn't playing my favor. So you were talking about um cutting your price targets. I think that might be a good idea because at least you know the move it might happen, but you don't have time to give space to happen the move.
Yeah, I mean that was about $1,500 that I left on the table on 2 Fridays in a row total. I mean, it's like 700, around 700 each. But yeah, that's 2 Fridays in a row, $700 gains uh that disappeared. Because it wasn't hitting those price targets. Maybe they were a little too far out. Maybe they weren't. With Apple, I think I was a little more lenient because I was just looking for 100% gain. I was looking for a grand for the day, and I got up to about 700. And I said, "Fuck it." And I had somewhere I had to be too, so I left and let it trail. But yeah, I think 70-75% up towards my or down towards my price target. I have to considering getting ready to sell.
Hey, Chris, can you explain that trade, the Apple trade? Like, why take such risk in that trade?
So that Apple trade, that was a trade where I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go off. I'm gonna go off gut. It's 170 is going to be real rough to break below, even though the market got really weak and it did break below. I was saying to myself, like, I'm going to take the fucking trade. And if it does go below 170, then I will bail out, but I'm going to try to get in as close to 170 as possible. And, I missed the opportunity a couple times. The last time or the time that I did get in, I think I bought in at like 170 23, something like that. It was extremely it was right at that 170 threshold. And from there, I already knew myself if it dropped, saw it drop on weakness, I was going to get out. So it was a trade, me saying I needed only like $1.50. I wasn't looking for a real strong bounce to the upside. I was looking for it to hover around 170 and just have a little bit of a move to the upside so I can monetize off of that. Because I saw every time it went down to 170, a lot of buy orders were coming in and it kept pushing it up. I mean, within like a minute, it would hit that right around that 170 area and it would shoot up and then
Push
drop
off,
back
yeah.
and shoot up. And those are all institutional buy orders sitting at 170, holding it up. Do I believe it's going to stay below 170? I would like to think that it's not going to stay below 170 because 170 seems really important. But that was the only reason I took the trade. I took the trade because I saw buy orders come in and say, I said, fuck it. If it goes below 170, I'll close out. I'll take, a 20% hit on that. But I do have confidence that I will get, some kind of push. It's just my greed was in there. I had the $700 in the bag. It did exactly what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to sell until I got about a grand for that trade, and I just couldn't get it. So that was really the only reason. It's just it was that 170 level.
You saw the support. I got you.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't going to hold it overnight, no matter what. Even if I saw some strength and just slow grind above 170 and continuation into the close, I was going to close it out because anything could have happened. But I, had it in me. I was like, it's not going to break 170. I should get a push, and I was just hoping for another 50 cents, K. Okay, I think it was another 50 cents I needed.
Actually, it hit the 50 area, but it was a quick. It didn't last like 10 seconds, but you were expecting like 25 cents more.
Yeah, so I didn't get my full thing, but I it did what I wanted it to. It did up until the end, and then it dropped below, but it did what I wanted to do, and it was just because of that 170 level. It would have needed a massive amount of strength to pop back up and to continue to the upside, and I didn't think it was going to get that. I just needed that little push. I did the calculation, said, okay, listen, from here, I need $1. I don't know, it's like $1.50, $1.75, and I only got $1.50 out of it. I didn't get that extra 25 cents. And then it died. It died out on me. That's all right. I have to fucking readjust my plan again. And then what'll happen tomorrow is I'll be selling at 70% of what I'm looking for, and then things are gonna fucking run up like another 125, 130 fucking percent. And I'm gonna be watching all the shit go and continue the upside when I could have been making double or 3 times as much, and now I'm fucking selling at 70% of my price target because of fucking last week. And now I have to fucking try to readjust. And by the time I readjust and try to get those full price target gains, the fucking market will throw something else at me, and I'll fucking be delayed. That's
Yeah,
shit.
but at least you're gonna be making profit, because it's not like you're not receiving your price target. It's like it's the market just fucking around all the trades. So at least you're not letting money.
Yeah, so my anger and frustration always comes when I'm making money in a trade. And it's as crazy as it sounds, and I think Dustin called me out on it like a month ago. He's like, you're the only person I know that gets pissed off when you have gains. I'm like, yeah, because I wanted to get max gains. I'm looking for these fucking max gains, and if I sit around and wait all day for the things to move the way that I want them to, it starts to make me a little crazy. Coming from a high momentum world, and even though it's been a while, you got to get these. I look for the moves to immediately happen, and I love to look for these price targets to immediately be hit. The downside moves that I jump into, those usually get me what I want. As soon as I as soon as I get into them, they have momentum. They're just going down. They're continuing, but the upside ones just been stalling out sometimes, and it makes me a little crazy. But my stress always comes from I'm not stressed out losing money immediately because I close out of those positions. My stress comes from the fucking things not going the way that they should be going, the way that they would normally be going. And I start cursing out the market, or I start cursing out stupid people buying shit that they shouldn't be buying. And
Well, you should have jumped in Lulu, Chris.
Lisa, how much are you up now? Are you up like 200%?
You got it.
Okay, I'm a little paranoid about leaving stuff open over the weekend. So I opened.
When did you sell it? Hold on. When did you sell it?
It was like at 325.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take that too. Come on.
Christian, just post the Apple just when you should have sold on Friday when it touched the 0.50. That's when I told you sell and you had 25 cents more.
Yeah, I just needed that other 25 cents.
Yeah, but just post it so people could see the chart.
Yeah.
You sold right on that support though. Like, look at that Lululemon and go look at the gap fill. Like, it closed right on that candle. Incredible where it closed.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I feel like it's got a lot of downside. So I'm thinking that if it wasn't the market that pushed Lululemon down. Lululemon can pop back up maybe Monday or Tuesday and then find its way back down again. And I would say under 114 would be the continuation for it. But did you hit 300%? I mean, you were up 175 at 18.
Oh yeah, when I closed out of it, it was 325%.
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Oh, wonderful.
I'd have sold it too. I'd have sold it too because you played it for the earnings move. Right now, the earnings is over. So even if it goes down more, 325%, hell yeah, I take it.
Well, yeah, when I closed out of it, I opened up another one, and that one was up like 40%, but I let that one sit there.
Okay. So you got your money back at least, and then some.
Nick, now I know what you're talking about. That green candle all the way on the other side of the chart.
Oh my! Look at how it closed right on it, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the fill of the gap is what, 107?
Yeah.
But if you looked at that whole sector of Lulu, they're in that little that special athletics type of stuff like Under Armour and Nike is. That whole market. If you look at it, some of those stocks are down 69% right now. So that whole market is weak, and I think that's what drove Lulu down. I don't think it's done yet either.
I was looking at the earnings release, and it didn't seem like anything was that bad.
Well, you got to think too. I mean, that's some expensive shit they sell for what it is. It's freaking, spandex workout clothes.
The way this closed, it looks like it wants to bounce back up to me. It might be a dead cat bounce, like Chris said, but it found support there.
But too, you're playing the earnings move, right? So that was the other day. So now whatever happens is, you can't use the earnings now for that extra move down. You're gonna have to look at the charts to see if there's any extra downgrades or anything else that's going to come out to drive it down anymore, because earnings is over.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to squeeze anywhere near as much that squeeze.
But did you see what I sent you, Christian? One of the only green stocks I could find that was up at the end of the day on Friday was Bed Bath & Beyond, up 2 cents.
So yeah, I mean, I hear that theory, like, totally. You can literally short anything with earnings right now.
Yeah, because what they're going to have good earnings, or I would say earnings within the estimates, and then they're going to come out and say something about guidance, and the shit's going to tank. There's only 2 stocks that survived earnings that I can think of that were any kind of good move, which was Workday and CRM. Those are the only 2, and they're cloud stocks. So, so surprisingly, the cloud, that for last quarter, the cloud stocks did really well.
What's crazy? The cloud stocks are the most overvalued stocks in tech right now, and they're overvalued. I mean, by like 10x, like 10 times.
Oh yeah, some of them were. Well, yeah, I mean. They're ridiculous, but I mean they showed the earnings was apparently good enough to reward those 2 stocks. Netflix kind of did okay, and then they tanked it, and then it hasn't recovered since.
I'm gonna do that this week. I never even thought about that. That's a good idea.
For sure. I mean, even if it does go inverse, just hold it for a couple of days.
Right.
The only one I wouldn't do is Costco. Number one, because it's $200, so it's a little expensive, but also because they had a terrible quarter last time, and they were talking about some kind of sales guidance or whatever. But when I was talking to Pedro, they had the guidance had come, or their sales had come up, so they might have like a little rabbit in the hat there. So I wouldn't do that one. But any of the other ones, I think are safe on shorten.
Okay. Yeah.
So, what does everybody else struggle with? What other kind of stuff do you guys struggle with? Anybody?
My big struggle is trying to figure out when to get into a trade and when not to get into.
Yeah.
My biggest problem has been entering the trades because
buy the dip, right?
I've been doing good on maxing out the gains, but entering has been the biggest issue.
Lisa, how far out of the contracts that you usually buy? 2 weeks?
Yes.
Part of that, I think, depends what you're playing. So if you're playing the charts, you get a pretty good idea on your time frame. But if you're playing a momentum, a momentum trade or something that you think is going to happen in the future, that's when I like to go out to the monthly. A lot of times I'm playing a catalyst, not just a chart.
And Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're usually playing. You're playing momentum too. You're playing like, hey, this thing's got momentum today. Let's take that trade.
Yeah, I can give you a good example. So Ford, when they reported earnings, they did okay, but they had some drama there, and then there was some bad news that came out. They got a downgrade, so the stock did trade down. But the investors on the call were wanting to know what Ford's restructuring plan is. Well, they keep not giving that information out. So with GM and all that, I thought it was going to tank even more. So probably back in November, I bought January puts against it, right? So I did a debit spread on it, and my contracts that I sold maxed out in profit. So I sold them off, and I kept 5 contracts on 4 puts for January for $8 puts, and the stock went up to $10, and they were pretty much 100% wiped out. All the gains were wiped out. It was negative. And then the last 2 weeks, that stock's down to $8.90 now or $8.60, and all the value's coming back into it. So that's how long out I'm out right now. Most of the stuff I'm playing is for January now.
I picked up Ford calls. I was up fucking 40%, and then it fucking shot back down on me. Now it's at 8.90. I've been paying attention to Ford. Those calls have fucking expired perfectly. I should have went puts when I saw the fucking struggle around 979, 980. I should have went puts. Should have closed out the position. So, all right. So, Lisa, you're following the momentum, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
For the most part, right? The Boeing trade, was there news, and that's why you jumped into Boeing?
I think the first time I took Boeing, I think that I think there was news on it. I can't remember what it was, but it really didn't do anything. But I said, just for shits and giggles, I said, okay, I'm gonna take a call. And I had no idea it was gonna jump like it did.
Yeah, made big moves that week. All right.
Howdy.
Yeah, that's really cool. Daco made a PDF trading plan.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You can electronically add stuff to it, save it, which is really cool.
Oh, good. It's a fill in the blank one. Nice.
Yeah.
I like those.
So do I. So, I think going a few weeks out, I gotta watch how I say this. Going a few weeks out with your contracts and with the expectations that you are gonna hold your contract, I don't know if you have to be too picky about when you enter, because you're looking at it from a larger time frame. You just have to be picky about the amount that you throw into the trade.
Yeah.
I would say in this market you might want to risk a little less if you're looking for a longer time frame, and because you're going to risk a little less, you don't have to be as the fill price doesn't have to be as crucial. You just have to be willing to do what Justin does and let the thing fluctuate and not stare at it.
Yeah, so one thing I've been doing now that I've learned how to do debit and credit spreads is when I go long out, you're right, they're more expensive. So what I do is I buy a debit spread and I put it at the money. So that way I'm making money the whole time I'm holding it, as long as it's going in that direction. And then that's a better way for me to stomach the losses when the stock has a down day, because I'm at the money to start with. So that way, and it's also cheaper. So now by buying a debit spread, I may be maxing out my my total profit. But if I buy one debit spread and I risk $1, but I can make 5, I can buy more contracts. I can buy 2 or 3 of those contracts versus just one contract. and then I end up doing pretty good on that. So
Yeah,
My question with the debit spread is so if I open debit spread, I have to close my sell before I can close my
No.
buy. Is that
you can
correct?
close them together. Your
Really?
broker will allow you to close them together.
Okay.
you close them together, but let's just say that they're worthless, right? And they're out of the money. You do not have to waste your money selling them. You can just let it
Okay.
expire.
All right.
But if they're in the money, you're going to have to sell them. But obviously, you would want to do that anyway because you should be making money then.
Lisa, are you able to watch the intraday? I mean, before you get into the trade, you're able to watch, right?
Yeah, I usually watch them, and when I'm in the office, I can only watch like one thing at a time. That's why I don't like to trade a lot. Well, have a lot of different open positions, but usually the one I'll get on one ticker, and I'll just like stalk it for like forever until it does what I think it should do.
Okay, so what I said previously goes for anybody who can't really watch the market. They can't really watch the market. This is a different situation. I had a feeling. All right, yeah, I can. We'll work on optimal entries in the morning. I'll work on that with people who are able to watch like at the open stuff like that. Watch the different what do you call it, how the market reacts and what the stock price is doing. All right. And you're using Thinkorswim. Are you doing it from the mobile or you have it installed? Are you watching the desktop one?
I'm watching the one in the office. I'm watching the one on my phone, but when I'm home, I watch the one on my desktop.
Okay, cool.
Then I can do more than one.
Yeah, we'll try to set something up. Dustin, do you want to maybe one day do like a some type of meeting where you kind of explain the entries and exits that you do?
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, for sure. I'll jot
right.
some stuff down.
Yeah,
Cool.
like the cat,
Cool.
like how you trade cat, man.
yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. Yeah, because he has really like entry and exit signal.
Yeah, I mean he's got a good one for cat. I mean I've been on there a couple times when he's been trading it, and it seems like he's been doing really good with it. I also want to we need to get James on here to show. I wanted to talk to him how he does TVEX because I'm kind of interested on how he's. Even though he's only doing stock, I can still trade the options with it if I wanted to.
Yeah, because he's going in the opposite direction of SPY, right?
Yeah, but that TVEX is leveraged, and they do reset it every so often.
Yep.
So that's what kind of screws people sometimes is you can be in a position to be to the good, and then they'll reset that and re-level off that TVEX, and then it screws everything up.
Yeah, an article I was reading, it said something about 18% of the time TVIX would actually follow the SPY. So
yeah,
you got to watch out for that too.
Yeah, so TVIX is an instrument that is measured off of the volatility of options contracts. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, it's the opposite though. It's the bear version of that, right?
Yeah, so correct. So the TVIX price is literally based off of options contracts. I think 30 days or
yeah, it's for
I remember the time frame, but it's 30 or something out. And as the contracts increase in volatility and the contract prices increase and decreases, they increase and decrease. That's what actually is changing those what do you call it? Those ETNs. They're based off of options contracts. They're not based off of any kind of stock activity. Those are literally the volatility options contracts. Are they expanding or contracting? And that's what makes those move. So to understand what that's actually measuring makes it a little easier to trade it and understand the type of trading that's done with it. Lower volatile, markets are going to affect TVIX, high volatility markets. And you can see the SPY doesn't even have to really move. It could be, let me try to say this in the correct way. The SPY could be up and down all day long, but it could close flat. And volatility will increase, with those options contracts, therefore changing the price of TVIX. So it is kind of interesting, and that's why what Dustin said. That's why it's true. There are times where it is going to follow the spot, and that's based off of those contracts and how those contracts, the volatility inside those contracts, are they cushion in either direction? Are they expanding because volatility is higher, or are they? Sorry, yeah, we'll get his ass in here. Maybe one night if we talk to him about it, I'm sure his wife will give him a little a little bit of a pass to come and hang out. I'm sure he'll get it.
I got skunked on a lighter note. I had a good fishing day.
Nice. All right. So anybody else? We got a bunch of people in here. Anybody else?
What are you asking?
Struggles that they're saying.
Struggles. Oh yeah.
We went over mine. We went over Nick's.
What I've been struggling, me personally, is not holding on through the ups and downs.
You ain't got your iron stomach yet, have you?
Yeah, I get very emotional. I watch that P&L too much. I gotta close that window.
It fucking hurts, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah, it hurts, and I mean, if you go in with a plan, stick to your plan, and that's all I could really say. Just stick to your plan because, you're gonna hit them. If you pull out early, I mean, you're slowly gonna just stab at your account.
Yeah.
You have to make two to one, right, to even stay alive in this market.
Correct, and just with what Dustin's saying and everybody that was in here earlier, Mark was having the same issue, and I've been through the same thing too. These issues are going to be fucking common. Nobody's going to have something that nobody's, that I've never had to deal with. Or don't deal with. All of our issues are going to be common. You're going to find at least a few other people who are having the same fucking problems. And what's crazy is when you guys when you eventually get past that, this stupid step, you're going to find something else that you're going to be able to match with somebody else. Maybe me, and the struggle that I'm going through that month or that week. But yeah, that's definitely rough.
Yeah, it is because I would sit there and watch the stock and then it'll struggle and then it'll go up. All of a sudden, I see my P&L. All of a sudden, I was up 50. Now I'm up 30. Okay, I'm up 15. All of a sudden, I'm negative 10 and then up 5. And I'm like, I should just take my profits here. And I'm always taking too early. I don't let my plan play out is my problem.
So it starts to fluctuate on you. You close out and then thing actually go in the direction that you want to.
Yeah, and I'm taking these small gains, but all reality is that I'm not going to get nowhere with this because then I take one big hit. There's all my small gains. I'm like 2 steps ahead, 2 steps back. It's like, I got to learn to just let my plan work out and play and go with it. I need to also stop trading all day. That's another problem I have. I have a problem of trading all frigging day. Okay, I'll be up 80, $100, and for some reason, that's my target. But I see another opportunity, and then I go and I take a stab at it, and it goes the opposite direction, and then there's another hit. Next thing you know, I'm break even or red. I've been there where I've been up 100, went at it after lunch, and just completely dumped. So. Definitely got to play that volatile, that momentum in the morning. Get your plan, get your trade, hit your target, get out, shut your computer down, and be done.
Yeah, I only trade twice a day, right? So I trade at between 9:45 and 10:30, 11. If what I decided to do works out.
Okay.
If it doesn't work out, I look at it again the last hour of the day, trying to set up for tomorrow. There's only times I trade during the day. Other than that, I'm just watching the market, but I'm not in the market, or I'm just watching positions I already have.
Yes, that is discipline right there. I will definitely, that's where I need to be. I need to be able to shut my account down and just watch the market, take my profits, and be done with it.
So like when I post these trades, like in that little channel that Christian gave me now, I give myself 4 days for those to work out when I post those, and if those parameters aren't met, if the stock's not trading in that range that I think it should be trading in to get into the position, or if it's already exceeded that and it's too close to the target price, I don't trade it. I give myself 4 days for that to work out. If it doesn't work out, then I don't enter that trade. But I still look at that same thing every day, right? So 10 to 11 in the morning to see if it's going to work out. If these things are going to work out, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to trade anything. I'm just going to watch my other positions, make sure I don't need to get out.
That's Eastern time, by the way, right? That's a half hour after market open, and that's giving you an hour of trading time, correct?
Yeah, and then 3:00 in the afternoon for the hour before the close, I'm looking at it saying, okay, well, will these set up tomorrow? These stocks looking like it's going to set up for tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and I'll buy tonight, so that way if it has that momentum move overnight, I capture it. Yeah, and if it doesn't, then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just reset tomorrow. We'll see if it works out tomorrow. And then if it goes a couple days go by and those trades don't work out, I'm like, okay, well, it's time to look for something else because these aren't going to work out.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, I got to, I will probably transition. It is a swinging market. I do believe I cannot swing for crap. So I just day trade and I try to hit my percentage, growth or my percentage daily and get out, but I can't do that for some reason. I got stuck in my head. I have to have more screen time. I need more screen time. I need more time. I need, and I need to tell myself like, hey, there is paper trading. You could get in, do your work in the morning, and then if you still want to trade, paper trade.
Yeah. Well, I've been like listening to you and Nick for like the chart stuff, so I'll look at stuff when you guys bring it up because sometimes I'm missing it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that chart looks pretty good, but right now I've been playing off all the drama, all the momentum, right? So I look at the chart kind of for a general direction, but I'm like, you know what, this thing's gonna tank one way or the other, and that's it.
Yeah. So like, I know there's people that are gonna be looking at the screens a lot, and I promise you, get your trades in the morning and then switch to your paper trading. If you feel like you need more time, more chart time, switch over. It won't. It's not a bad thing. You can still get your charting in. You can still get your chart, analyst time in, and not risking your gains, so to speak. So it don't hurt to go to paper trading, and I need to tell myself that. Take your goal, get your goal, paper trade, because I feel like I need more chart time as of where I stand right now.
Now you know why I started doing Uber driving like a year and a half ago because I was staring at the computer for too long, and I'm like, you know what, 11:30, I'm out, and I just get out and get in the fucking car and go. And like, I didn't know anybody who didn't have a job or was doing shit, but it got me away from the computer. It was necessary.
How long were you trading until you discovered that though, or something like that? Like what, 5-6 years?
No. So for about a year and a half, I was all over the place. So I was trading and like, just like going on random mini fucking vacations for a couple days with my laptop, and I was really active. Like I was in and out all the time. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me stop this traveling shit. Let me, start get situated. And, within like a 6-month period, I saw myself just sitting there, like, making money and then sitting there and starting this bad habit where I would start to fucking trade midday. And I wasn't getting it, counterproductive. And I read somewhere that this guy, and that's what triggered it. This guy was like, yeah, I think I was talking to him, and I don't even know where I fucking met him. Like it was somewhere online. I wasn't in any Facebook group at that time. So I don't know where it was, but he was like, yeah, I run into the same thing. He's like, I shut my computer down. He's like, I walk away for the rest of the day, even if I don't have anything going on. It's as soon as it hits 11:30, my computer goes off and I walk away because I have to. And I'm like, holy shit, like that makes a lot of sense. So I started doing that. And I'm like, it was good because nothing good
that works
out of shit midday. It doesn't. And it was hard starting this, doing the chat room and stuff, and being around all this. Now I'm in front of the computer and I want to continue trading. And that's hard. And I've been catching myself doing that, just getting into shitty positions when I don't really need to get into positions.
What would you say about the ones that are learning the market right now, though? Would you advise them to try to chart all day, or do you tell them to shut off at 11 o'clock, or should?
there's really no point. I mean, if you want to watch movement of the market and learn movement of the market, you're still in that window. Midday is just going to be flat, and things will look like they're going to make a move, but they're not going to have the power to actually
the
make
momentum.
those legit moves unless you see news midday and shit's already fucking spiking up, like some crazy rumor, and shit's starting to spike up. Nothing good's going to come out of it, even from just like a hanging out and watching the market. It's going to be really boring.
Yeah.
Which is why I created the game channel. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. That's the reason, to find some shit to do midday. When we have nothing going on. That's why.
Yeah. I've literally paper traded for 3.5, 4 months straight all day long before I started risking my money. But I'm slowly learning that, hey, cut ties around 11.
Yeah, I started doing that basically last week. I haven't been trading years. Well, making 1 or 2 trades a day. Boom, done. Making my $80, $60, whatever it is, and call it quits. Nothing's got any follow through in this market right now. It's always back and forth. Really screw you over.
Now you guys know why I made that comment. I'm gonna be out of. Made that comment a week and a half ago. Still haven't.
Oh man, I've been telling myself that for a long time. I can't do it.
Maybe we can find shit to do after like 11:30.
Yeah, that's exactly. You need to find something, something to get you away.
Some Black Ops.
I need to find something because I just the hunt of finding that one. I don't know. It's a rush.
Yep. No, I know. We should start playing video games after 11:30. We'll keep all the computer windows open and stuff. We'll go over to the Xbox and we'll start playing some video games.
Might not be a bad idea, dude. Or go to the gym, go work out.
Yep.
Go play paintball.
There you go. So what else? I mean, that's what's crazy is what we've been talking about covers really a lot of the struggles. Struggles are really basic, getting the correct entry, either or knowing the move, seeing the move, but closing out a little too early because things are going inverse. A lot of that has to do with optimal entry, believe it or not.
Yep.
Getting that optimal entry will prevent that because things will be going in your direction the moment that you hit that, that buy, that sell button. So that's definitely important. Even Lisa, you were talking about optimal entry or when to enter intraday. I mean, optimal entry fixes that. If you can get that entry immediately when that move is starting to happen or going the direction you want it to go, you're not going to have an issue from there. There's going to be fluctuation because it is going to start moving in your direction.
Yes, sir.
But Dustin, so you're at that point where you're going to have a breakthrough. Right? I mean, I've been there and I've seen so many people.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, you're there. You're at that point where this is going to be the toughest time for you. It is. Right. I 100% will tell you that. I've seen it. I've been in it. I've seen it. It's extremely tough. It's extremely frustrating. But once that fucking thing clicks, and it's going to click, once it does, it's going to be a game changer. Like you're at the last wall.
I'm hoping, man. It's been a hurdle. I appreciate that, man.
No, it might last a long time.
It might not end that wall. But if I say it's gonna be broke down tomorrow,
it might. But this is it, man. This is the last wall that you have to keep fucking
keep pushing.
Yeah, and you'll see it. Once you hit that, you fucking everything starts in place. It'll be a fucking game changer.
There's a lot of us, man, that are in here that have come a long way since we've joined this group, man. I mean, I've watched a lot of good success, strong stories. Everybody's still staying strong, and it's all of us. The reason why we keep moving forward is from one another. That's awesome. words of encouragement. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Chris.
No, I definitely crazy how much everybody like didn't know.
I
And
didn't
how
know
much,
a dang
how much
thing
you guys
about
are learning.
options.
What's even crazier is you guys don't even know how much you've learned. You really don't know how far you've actually come. So maybe you start talking to other people. Like when you talk about to other people that don't know as much, maybe you stop and you're like, "Holy fuck! How the fuck did I know that?" Like and you go, but
I
Look,
had
all I need is the VWAP and I'm good.
the video up. But do you see that, Dustin? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah, I know exactly. I had that aha moment one day. I was talking to my brother, and I was like, I actually stopped and I was like, wait a minute, holy cow! I wouldn't be able to say that 3 months ago.
yeah, it's crazy. I'm telling you guys don't know how much you every single day, and it's probably only comes to light when you're talking to other people, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, the power of networking between like-minded individuals is like key. It's who you surround yourself with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Bitcoin's up 7%.
Oh, I gotta go. He killed it. He killed it. I said like-minded individuals there, Justin.
Don't worry, we all have Bitcoin one day when this dollar crashes.
I have a little bit of that. Yes, I do. Actually, I have it pulled out right now, but yeah.
I lost money on crypto. Still holding it.
Oh, I'm not green
Till
at
the
all.
day I die, it better go somewhere.
I posted that YouTube video on the off-topic BS. It's actually a pretty good video. This guy, this big banker guy, is interviewing this dude about the market crashing, and when the dollar finally goes to shit, that's when the cryptocurrency is going to get big. Anyway, it's good stuff.
What do you think? I think we covered a lot. It might be generic. I mean, definitely the point is everybody's going through the same shit.
Yeah, but probably more of a reason to have a more defined trading plan and to have something different. But you got to have those basic things to know when to get in, when to get out, or not get in at all.
Yeah, that works. So then maybe we could set something up this week sometime where we could start to get a little more in depth. But just listening to everybody, I really don't think there are no special cases. It's all the same shit that I've been through. Definitely. But if we do a meeting this week, we can start to dive, deeper into creating some kind of trading plan. I mean, even if it's light, they don't have to be super crazy. Dustin, you and I do, things a little different than everybody else. So our stuff's a little crazier.
Yeah.
Really on point. But I think the three of us definitely help these guys out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm willing. I'll definitely write some stuff down for sure, Chris.
All right, Justin, for anybody that's in here, take a look at Justin's plan, his trading plan. I mean, if you're looking for something that has a lot of detail, it's a perfect example of detail. It is. All right.
I do gotta say, it's really beautiful where he's at right now.
Maybe to you. How you liking it, Justin?
Well, I just posted a picture and what it looks like for me right now.
They just told me that work's open tomorrow, so I just told them, well, guess what? I'm taking a personal day tomorrow. I'm not driving in this shit. I got 12 inches of snow and ice getting ready to go on top of it.
Word.
Good Lord, where are you at?
So what?
Where are you at?
North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, my cousin's in North Carolina. She's talking about that because we're originally from upstate New York where it snows all the time, but
Yeah.
they actually don't have any snow.
What's snow? What is that? That's so foreign to me.
It's the stuff you need to come rolling off the mountain so you guys have water to drink out there in the desert. That's what it needs.
Yeah, that's